is what I've ground up by hand. Yeah, really pretty. We're going to dust it up with these greens. We're going to make it that size. What's pretty awesome all day long. Roly-poly caterpillar in the corner crust wrapped a blanket round himself, and there he found the sweat. He woke up by and by, found he was a butterfly. 1, 2, 3, magic colors in the sky. Time consuming? Yes. Do I have the time? Yes. I'm thankful for the time? Yes. Full of gratitude? Yes. Hey, working with white sage. Would you like to see? This is how we're making powder. It's white sage powder. So I can show you the plant if you're interested. The white sage plant grows very well in California. I'm in Northern California, so it gets a lot more water, which makes it more green. It gets its name because it has a highlight of white, especially underneath. And then when it dries, it looks like this. Yeah, really woody. And we save the parts. And what's really cool is that you can use the whole thing. When they flower up to 12 feet long. They just grew way up here. Beautiful purple flowers. And the whole plant is usable. So we save the stalks off our mother plants for kindling. And what's cool is that they're hollow in the middle. So when you light these, they make this really cool ribbon with a hole in the middle. So there's this circular burn, which is really awesome. And then you've probably seen these before. This is where you get the leaves. They're big and fat, and then they curl up. I like to put them in the sun a little bit to get them nice and crunchy, because you can work with them. You crush them all up, and then you get your mortar, and you round and round and round and round in here. And then you get your powder. Another fun thing to do is to make the King Kong. Yeah, look at that. This is hours. This is for outside ceremony. This is hours of burning. You don't want to burn this in your house because it's just going to smoke you out. This is for outdoor use, but what's also fun is you can use those individual leaves, or you can get the little minis, the little mini ones. What's cool about the powder is instead of using abalone shells, because we want to get away from raping the ocean, you can use gourds. So we grow gourds. Here's an old gourd. It's broken open. And what's cool, so you can see that, is yes, gourds are flammable, but you can put sand or dirt or salt at the bottom of it, and you put a little pinch of the dust or the powder, and it lights on fire. So you just get a little offering, which is just enough for some people. And whatever you're doing, if it's just a little welcome, you got a fairy garden going on, and you just want to have just some offering of space, acknowledgement with intention, you can use this powder dust. Now there's nothing added to this. This is just pure white sage, and you pinch it. It's not going to form, but when you put it into the bottom of the gourd and you light it, as you saw, it just goes poof. Doesn't catch on fire, it just smokes from the inside out. And it lasts maybe 5 minutes or so, depending on how much you put in there. Really great way to offer. So I'm going to take the mortar here. Get all the dust out. Now this size can burn pretty nice too, but I like to have both sizes. I think the finer it is, maybe the faster it burns. And there's no resins in here that are added, so it doesn't stick like in a cone. We're going to make cones. It's highly possible to put a resin in here. You can also mix it with copal, so that's fun. And it's for offerings. And speaking of offerings, I'm going to do a meditation workshop with flowers. The first two flowers that we're going to learn about is rose and geranium. Very potent sacred plants. You obviously might have heard of the rose, right? This rose is everywhere. But the geranium has been manipulated by man forever, and now we have access to plants that smell like apples or mint or citronella, orange, pineapple. Like there's plants, the geranium has the capacity to smell like other things that these scientists help it smell like. It's pretty wild. So in our meditation, we're going to use our 6 senses to explore 2 plants, which sounds pretty fun to me. And, receive the download, receive the message. What do plants share with you? How are they in your life? Do they matter? Of course, they make food, and it's great. But what about all the other parts, right? Why would we as in humans, manipulate a plant to smell like all kinds of other things? Why would we do that? What does it do for us? Blessings. Blessings. That's what plants do. They just give us blessings. And so this is, well, thank you for the comment. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I never knew the process. So this is just all the handmade stuff. We got a mortar over here. This is the mortar. This is 2 types of stone. And then the bowl. And this bowl has juniper, calendula, rose, violet, redwood, lavender. This was stage propped for pictures. We have some cedar here because it looks so fun and cool. And making the powder. So the tricky thing about the processing sage is that it's so full of resin that it'll get stuck in the processors and the machines and the blades. So we have to dry it down really good. So the first process I do is grow the plant. And then when the plant is ready and is giving you permission to do so, you ask the plant, you carry the stalks, or they cut the stalks. And here, these stalks here. So it's a woody plant, very woody. And it comes with these leaves. The leaves get super big and green. But as they dry, they turn white and hard and curled. So they're really pulling their resin into its leaf. But the whole thing is combustible. We save the sticks for kindling. It's really great when we have sessions with Grandfather Fire. We can offer these sticks as kindling to get the fire started. So, and these things grow 12 feet. 12 feet in the air. Crazy, crazy plant. And the flowers are very small. So there's just a few little buds. And the seeds are like little poppy seeds. They're just little tiny black things. So you have those. And then when you cut them, you wrap them like this. Now the things that you see is like a commercialized sage. That's why I've devoted my education around something more sacred, because I feel like the plant is being overused and not cared for, even though people are using it for sacred ceremony. Part of that ceremony is keeping the plant sacred. So grow your own sage. Save a life. And they use different ways of getting all those bundled. So I'm pretty sure if you've seen sage, they're little 4-inch sticks, and the sticks are backed, and the plant is small. Not small. This is for outdoor use. This is for outdoor ceremony. This will burn for a while. See the stick? Pretty cool. So you got this little wand at the end. And what we do, so we wrap it to dry. We hang them. As the summer weather up here in Northern California is perfect for getting these guys nice and toasty, because we don't want them to mold. And then we take this part off. We wrap it with something pretty and put some copper on it, and it becomes a nice little gift for whatever you're doing. I'm just calling in that sacred space. It is been shown that when sage is burned, it has an antibacterial component to it. And so that's why, one of the reasons is why it's burned is because it cleanses space. Well, it does. It gets rid of the microbials. I don't know how it does that, if it's attaching, or if it's pulling bacteria out, or if it lays on bacteria and smothers it. I'm not quite sure. And what bacteria are resistant of it, I don't know. I know mold isn't, but mold is not a bacteria. Duh. Okay, so sage is also an astringent. Astringency is important in the human body. It tonifies and keeps our fascia and our organs, our skin, things like that, not nice and tight, but firm, like it's supposed to be. We don't want sludgy stuff in our body. We have enough sludgy stuff. We have mucus, and all the things that are supposed to be sludgy need to stay sludgy. And so astringent herbs help our body keep the things that are supposed to be sludgy, and the things that are supposed to be nice and tight and firm, nice and tight and firm. You get to bounce a quarter off that shit. All right, so then it goes into the handy dandy bag. I like reusing. I don't want to have to keep buying bags. I want to reuse them. So this is the fine. And this is for just nice, what would you call, just 5-minute burn. It just, a pinch of this will just last for a few minutes. And I will show you how to do that. So far, this has taken about 3 hours from getting the dried leafy stemmy plant into this form. I'll be giving some of these away. I'll put these in little tiny containers for people at the workshop. We're going to learn about some other sacred plants. Now I'm going to show you how to use a gourd. How long do they take to dry? Good question. A while. It really depends on weather and airflow. These were harvested almost 2 weeks ago, and we put them outside in the day, not always in the sun, but at least outside in a crate that has lots of airflow. We also grow gourds. You can see here the gourds hold water pretty well. There's a calendula. The gourds hold water, so you can get a gourd and you can soak it. You can put, see, this is the one that we've been using so far. You can put dirt in it. You can put sand in the bottom or salt, something like that, because the gourd will burn. We don't want to start a fire, but if you don't, if you have a space where you can burn a gourd and it's safe, you just light the whole thing. So we have this little guy. And get the dirt in there. So we have this refined powdered one. And I can get that even finer inside a blender. And then we have this one here. It still has a little sun. So I'm going to light this one. So you just take a pinch. And put it inside the gourd. Like that. There's nothing added to it to keep it firm and stiff. There's no other resins, which are helpful if you want to make a cone, but it's not necessary, which is cool. I like these types of lighters. This one's a torch. And sometimes it torches, sometimes it doesn't. I don't like using cigarette lighters because if I have it on too long, it'll just burn my body. So a torch is nice. Get that on. It goes out. And there you go. It is naturally windy out here, so it's going to go. You can blow on it. And then that'll burn for maybe 5-8 minutes. And it's just a small offering. And then we just put it in the fairy garden over here. And it's going to do its thing and it's going to go out. The dirt protects the gourd from catching on fire, which is nice. Or you can use a shell. But the thing about shells is that they're harvested, they are animals, so, why do that when you have other natural things to use? You don't need an abalone. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Yeah, it's gone up in smoke. But thanks for joining. Bye.